The U.S. recognizing opposition candidate Edmundo González has the winner of Venezuela's contested election upset. The move comes after the U.S. called for President Nicolás Maduro's government to release precinct-level polling data to support his victory claims. Meanwhile, Human Rights Watch reports at least 20 people have been killed, and officials say more than 1,000 arrested in days of protests after the election. I want to bring in Venezuelan political analyst Liz Rebecca Alarcón for more. Liz, thank you so much for joining us again. How significant is this move by the U.S. recognizing González as the winner and not Maduro?
Extremely important, Stephanie. While the opposition continues to be steadfast in showing that they have proof of a win during Sunday's elections, while they remain steadfast in asking for Venezuelan people now to peacefully remain with this conviction that they have the votes to prove it, calling for gatherings across the country tomorrow, Saturday at 10 a.m., we see that on the other side, the Maduro government has increased crackdowns and has refused to show precinct-level polling, like you all mentioned at the top here. And what is different this time, which I think is important to share, is that because of this proof that the opposition has precinct by precinct, the ground game and the months of preparation for what they knew would be not free and not fair elections, the international community support is extremely important. We have not seen, I don't think in recent memory, such a strong stance on the part of the United States. We saw it, yes, from Antony Blinken. We saw it from Brian Nichols, Assistant Secretary of State, during the OAS vote. And we see countries who we imagined would side with Maduro actually being neutral still to this point. Mexico, Colombia, Brazil trying to mediate conversations. And so I think this is a very important moment, and it speaks to the organization and the foresight of the opposition to know the odds that they stood against and to really preparing themselves to defend this vote.
We know that Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia are asking for a transparent vote count. Do you think that all of this pressure from other countries will sway Maduro in any way to release this evidence?
You know, I really hope so. I think that Maria Corina Machado, Edmundo González Urrutia know that this is the third stage, as they say, that maintaining this pressure and insisting on these votes being counted is a strategy that's going to require international support, yes, from allied countries. I think that is the most important, but also neighboring countries that are most affected by the economic disarray, by the extreme migration of Venezuelans leaving because of the Maduro regime. And so the voices of Mexico, Colombia, and Brazil are extremely powerful. Of course, that of the United States, as we've been talking about. But we also know that the internal pressure that we on the outside are hoping that Maria Corina and team are putting on institutions within Venezuela, the military, and other branches of government are also going to be crucial. And that's why having these vote tallies and proving the overwhelming win by millions of votes with over 80% of these tallies in hand is what they are using to try to influence on the inside and also on the outside. And so this is a multi-pronged approach, and it really is time for the Maduro government to heed the calls of neighboring countries and more importantly, and most importantly, of the Venezuelan people to negotiate a transition out. When I was last here on the show with you all, I mentioned that there are many avenues that the international community can use to pressure, everything from amnesty to other negotiated deals, to make sure the will of the people is heeded. So we'll see what happens.
And Maduro says he won't hesitate to call for a revolution if forced by North American imperialism. We'll see what type of influence other allies have on Maduro and his government as we move forward. Liz, thank you very much. Political analyst Liz Rebecca Alarcón, thank you.